Greetings, geniuses. This video is going to cover another topic from the INFJ perspective as usual. And I'm going to talk a little about being consistent in the things that I do and the things that all of us do, whether you're an INFJ or any other of the 15 personalities from the Myers-Briggs type indicator. Then I would just say that INFJs probably have a tendency of bouncing around to a lot of different things, and it's not necessarily bad. It can be good because I feel like I have lived a very well-rounded life in many ways because of it, because of my sort of thirst for knowledge and wanting to understand the world better. I have completely paused certain aspects of my life at times and really dug in to certain topics, and I never would have understood as much as I do about those topics unless I would have done that. So there's good and bad to, I guess, bouncing around to some extent, but when you get right down to it, as far as goals and what is your purpose and what you want to achieve in this world, then there has to be a certain amount of consistency. And that's why one of my goals right now and for this year is to have a certain number of things which are in my head right now, I've been thinking about lately, that I'm going to keep doing no matter what. And it sounds really simple, I know. And if you're an INFJ, you've probably told yourself many times, yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep working on my business, or staying in shape, or eating right, or working towards whatever goal you're thinking of right now. But then something comes along, kind of sideswipes you in some fashion, and it might not have even been your fault. It might have been a life event that sort of took you out of your normal sequence of daily things for a couple days, a week, 2 weeks, especially. Once you start getting into the several weeks column, then it's really easy to just lose focus and kind of go back to certain things that are more comfortable, meaning not doing things consistently and working on certain projects. Because what I've found is once you build a certain number of consistent habits, that it doesn't take that much time out of each day to check those boxes. Like, I don't really consider making these genius videos work, because it's something that I love doing, and I like to help all of you however I can, even if it's some tiny way of entertaining you or keeping you company, hearing from somebody that has a similar perspective. I don't know. That's for you to decide. But for me, it's such an easy thing, and it could build into something. I could only hope it would build into a community someday that we could all appreciate each other in different ways. But the point is it's not that hard for me to do every day. It's really more the challenge of being consistent and just maintaining that habit, because we're not talking about that many minutes a day. So that's just one example. Like I've said before, I have other hobbies and passions that also I want to be consistent with. And I'm sure if you're interested And many of these videos, which are kind of geared a little bit towards self-development and how we can improve ourselves, that it would be interesting to you. And the topics that I'm covering will continue to be at least a little bit interesting. Because like I said, it's come from lessons learned and life experience. And I'm not teaching or training from a manual or any book in particular. And in fact, I like to keep things kind of generic to some extent because I want to be understood and available to anyone and everyone. And you could say that's a good thing, you could say it's a bad thing. Again, there's a balance there, and I don't claim to be the know-all for everything, but it's sort of an INFJ perspective as well, that if we talk to somebody one-on-one, so we have a chance to actually get to know them, just as if I sat down with you one-on-one, then I could really read your energy on whatever topics we're talking about, and I would be able to gather a lot of insights from just the words that you chose to use in sentences, and I would be working to connect all those dots so that I could really give you more specific advice, reactions, whatever the case may be, or just moral support. And it really is a big part of life, I think, to have some kind of support system. And I do trust that the Lord has my well-being well in hand, and I think He does for all of us if we allow Him to be a part of our lives and work through the bad times and the good times and everything. But I've also learned the value in trying to bring others into my circle and even allow them to kind of be there for me in certain ways. And for me, one of them is venting. Absolutely. That is a big one for me, because if I don't let out some of the emotions and feelings, anger, sadness, then I've really noticed that it does bottle up in me and come back to get me later. And I regret it every time when it gets to that boiling point. So maybe that's also an important lesson learned for INFJs here especially, is it seems simple, it seems like nothing to us to just talk to people and release all of that emotion and stuff that we've bottled up to try to sort of protect others or be our best for others, but it really does make a huge difference. So, and I apologize if it's windy. I'm walking again out with the doggy, but as mentioned, I wanted to be consistent for you and get this video done before I get sidetracked. So that would be my challenge for you out of this video, is how consistent can you be? And start your goals realistic. It doesn't need to be, well, I'm going to work on this project 8 hours a day. No. And especially if you have a main job that you're already providing for yourself or your family, you're going to have to be realistic. And it's going to have to be just a few minutes a day, maybe 30, maybe 60. And only you can decide that. So there's no exact blueprint. And that's why I feel that talking about some of these things from a somewhat general perspective can be the best way, because I want to help you to create your own blueprint for your life that you can create and follow for yourself. because I found certain things that worked for me, and it took me a while to get there. And I'm just being honest, there's no quick fix. And we live in a world with videos and tutorials where people are trying to show you the quick way to do it, and you're going to be super successful and blah blah blah. And I know that because I've tried a lot of them, and there's a lot of great information out there, no doubt, but when you really get down to it, and I think the short version of all those is you have to figure it out for yourself. And so all the knowledge in the world is not going to magically bring you to that point. So that's why I feel so strongly about just being consistent for however many minutes per day and per week that you can do, and just keep riding that ride. You're going to have days where you don't feel like doing anything, but you spend that time anyway, and you feel a little better at night when you go to sleep, because you can look back and say, you know what? It hasn't been perfect or amazing, but I stuck with it, and I feel good about myself for doing that. And it does make a difference. And that also grows with time. You feel better about yourself. You feel more confident that, oh, hey, I can kick it up another 30 minutes per day. Easy. I'm starting to have fun. And that's how it works. So just stick with it. Stay consistent. Become consistent starting today if you haven't started anything like that yet. Even 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, and just watch it grow. So I hope this was informative for you and or entertaining, and I will look forward to bringing another topic to you soon. So until next time, I'll see you soon, genius.